What if the best response to marketing advice is just a smile and a walk away? When you run a jewelry business, unsolicited tips come from everywhere: friends, family, strangers online. But not all advice is helpful, and some of it is just gonna pull you off track. In this episode, I'm showing you how to filter the noise, stay focused on your strategy, and shut it down with grace so you can stop second guessing and trust your own expertise. Plus, be sure to stick around to the end of the segment as I'll tell you how to access my free Mother's Day jewelry marketing toolkit. Inside, you'll get an exact blueprint on how to finally nail the Mother's Day promo this year. I'm Larissa Werstiak, and for the last 8 years, my women-run marketing agency, Joy Joya, has been helping jewelry brands thrive. I'm here to help you toss aside the one-size-fits-all playbook and create a unique marketing strategy so your brand can shine in a sea of sparkle. All right, let's jump in, sparklers. The most frequently asked questions I get from jewelry business owners often start with, "My family member or my friend told me I should be doing XYZ with my marketing. What do you think?" Do you also feel like you get a lot of business and marketing advice from various sources? You know that moment. You're talking about your business at a party, or posting something on Instagram, or even just minding your own jewelry making business when someone decides it's time to chime in with their brilliant marketing idea. Have you ever thought about doing TikTok? You should be hiding your like count. My cousin's friend used AI and tripled her sales. You should try that. Honestly, you should probably run Facebook ads. That's what everyone's doing. And you're standing there thinking, who asked you? But maybe you're also thinking, but are they actually right? If you've ever felt annoyed, confused, or even second-guessed yourself after getting unsolicited marketing advice, you're not alone. It happens all the time, especially when it comes to your marketing activities, since everyone and their mom thinks they understand marketing because they've, used Instagram or seen an ad once or looked something up on YouTube. Everyone thinks they're a marketing expert, but you're the one building the business, and not every piece of advice deserves your energy. So I'm going to walk you through why unsolicited advice feels so triggering and how to recognize when it's actually helpful, how to create a filter for evaluating marketing suggestions so you're not pulled in a million directions, the mindset shift that will help you protect your focus and your confidence as a jewelry business owner, and a few one-liners you can keep in your back pocket for when you need to gracefully shut it down. Whether you've got a family member with a million opinions or a fellow jewelry designer constantly DMing you tips and ideas, this episode's going to help you sort through the noise from the strategy so you can stay focused on what actually works for you. All right, let me start with some real talk. Unsolicited advice often triggers us because it makes us feel like we're not doing enough or like we're doing it wrong. It pokes at our insecurities, especially in marketing, where there can be potentially 100 different ways to show up, and it can be difficult for you to know the right way for your business if you don't necessarily have tons of marketing experience under your belt and confidence. But just because someone offers you advice doesn't mean you have to accept it or act on it. So how can you stay grounded when you get all these suggestions? First, I want you to pause before taking any action. When someone throws marketing advice at you, especially in person, it's okay to smile, nod, and keep moving. You don't have to explain your whole business to them. You don't have to explain your whole marketing strategy on the spot. Give yourself permission to just take it in, maybe even make a note on your phone if it feels like it could maybe be valid. But don't take it personally as if this other person thinks they know better than you. You can always say, "Thanks for the idea, I'll think about it," and leave it at that. The second step is to ask, who is this coming from? You want to consider the source. Is this person actually someone who understands your business, your audience, your goals, and your values, if the person hasn't built or marketed a jewelry business or any business for that matter, their advice is immediately not relevant, no matter how confident they sound. Even marketing professionals can give advice that's off base if they're not familiar with your niche and your business. So don't confuse credentials with alignment either. When jewelry business owners in the wild find out that I'm a marketing consultant and ask me for advice, I just politely tell them I don't know enough in that moment about their business to help them. And that's not because I don't want to give them free advice. It's because I genuinely don't have enough information or data. And I would need much more to give advice that's relevant and grounded in strategy. Anything I might say in that moment would be pure speculation. And that kind of advice usually just leaves people more confused than empowered. Honestly, it would be like asking a stranger because none of us have the data that we would need to give you good advice. And then step 3, check in with your strategy. Even though this is step 3, it's actually probably the most important one. Ask yourself, does this advice or this suggestion support or distract from my current priorities? And is it aligned with how I want to be showing up? If the answer is no to either of those, you're allowed to let it go. It doesn't make you close-minded, it makes you focused, and that's a good thing to be as a business owner. And if you're really not sure how to answer one or both of those questions, then it's time to revisit your business and marketing strategies so you can strengthen your foundation and stay in your lane. There's also one important add-on question here. Even if the given suggestion does align with your strategy and does seem like a decent idea, ask yourself, do I have the bandwidth and or the resources to actually explore this right now? It's so important. I see how too much advice can completely overwhelm people. Even when we do our marketing audits for clients, when the client is literally asking us for all the advice and the action items, of course, we're very thorough and we offer lots of suggestions and room for improvement, but we also emphasize prioritization. So we're helping clients focus on the high impact items first while leaving the rest as nice to have ideas for the future. And then step 4 is to capture ideas, but don't necessarily commit to them. So speaking of these nice to have future ideas, you can create kind of like a parking lot for random marketing ideas. It could be a note in your phone, a section of your marketing strategy or calendar doc, or a sticky note on your desktop. That way, if an idea does spark something for you, you've got it saved, but it's not disrupting your flow in the moment. And then step 5, remember that you are the experts in your business. You know your customers, you know your voice, you know what lights you up and what burns you out. And that inner compass is more valuable than any tip from someone who's not in the trenches with you. The best marketing advice aligns with your vision, your values, and your capacity. And if it doesn't check those boxes, it's okay to ignore it. Your action step this week is I want you to create your own personal advice filter. So open up a blank note or Google Doc or whatever and jot down a few key questions that you can use whenever unsolicited marketing advice comes your way. You can even borrow from those that I mentioned earlier. Does this align with my current goals? Is this advice coming from someone who knows my business or understands my audience? Do I have the capacity to implement this right now? And is this a direction I even want to take? And then start a simple idea parking lot, just a spot to keep any suggestions that might be worth exploring later. So you can if you want, but they won't derail you or keep you up at night now. And I think this habit can really help you stay clear, calm, and confident, even when everyone who thinks they're a marketing expert will give you their opinion, unsolicited or not. And if you ever need a gut check on whether a piece of advice is worth following, you know where to find me. DM me at JoyJoyaMarketing and I'll help you break it down. And don't forget, if you haven't downloaded the Mother's Day Jewelry Marketing Toolkit, it's still available and it's packed with resources to help you build a thoughtful, profitable promotion. You'll get customizable email templates, a launch checklist, social media ideas, SEO keywords, and more. Head to myjoydeck.com/mothers-day or just ignore me and click the link in the show notes because that will be a much easier way to get there. Again, it's free but only available for a limited time. Check the link in the show notes. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and check out my other videos for even more tips.